it is so important that you do meet all the various different people at the companies because people turn over. When you bypass someone in a position and only talk to their boss, when their boss leaves, the guy will remember that you didn't give him the time of day. So I just think that, I mean, I would echo most of what Walt was saying. It's pretty basic stuff. And I just think that if you follow those rules, you'll be successful selling whatever it is, heavy duty or any other product.
Yeah, we might all look at that as common sense, but unfortunately, common sense isn't always common practice. So to us, we've got that curse of knowledge where we know this and we've been applying those principles for decades. But for someone listening who's maybe just starting their career, these are the fundamental building blocks that they need to know are important. And sometimes there's a lot of pressure to get results. And so sometimes there's a tendency to feel like maybe you should violate one of those principles to get the short-term result. But Walt, what have you learned in almost 40 years in the business? Is that the right strategy?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think the biggest thing that I can, look back on my career, I mean, I'm still going strong, as we say, but the fundamentals work. I know technology started to take some of that, what I want to call that fundamental face-to-face meeting out of practice, but you got to be willing to adapt to the change and, just continuously see everybody. But unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see the person behind the David Seawacks of the world that would be next in line to take over the company, doing it all virtual. So that face-to-face meeting is still very important to make sure that you get in front of, not only David, who's the owner of the company, but all of his people that are there that he works with to make Find a Part successful.
Another thing I'd add to that is that it's okay not to know something. So there's nothing worse than when you walk in and visit a business owner and you're a new salesperson and you really get over your skis by saying you know more than you actually do. I actually think it works better in the reverse to say, hey, I'm a great salesman and I work for a fantastic company. I really don't know the answer to that, but I'll find out the answer and get back with you. For me, that always resonated better than trying to answer something you really don't know what you're talking about and you lose credibility with who you're dealing with.
Yeah, I personally think that the person who can find the answer is more valuable than someone who kind of conducts themselves as a know-it-all, because we all know that's impossible. There's so much to learn in this business. We've been in it for decades and we're still all learning every single week.
Agreed.
Yes, I would agree. I mean, I would echo David's comment about that. I mean, I had a very tough, as I want to call, product manager in one of my companies. And literally, I'd call him because I didn't know anything when I was starting out brand new. And still today, I'm learning every day. But I mean, this guy made me look it up. He said, the answer's on page so-and-so. I'm not going to give you the answer. Look it up. And that made me stronger because, I went and looked it up first before I, decided to tell the customer the right answer to make sure it was correct. But I mean, this guy was very tough. I mean, yes, he'd give you an answer if you were on the fly and you had to have it right away. But to tell the customer no, sometimes it's very difficult. I don't know that answer. But I think it's the best practice too to make sure that, hey, if you really don't know, they know when you're telling the non-truth. I mean, they're going to find that out. But I'd rather say, look, I don't know. I will get back to you as soon as possible. But the follow up behind that, it has to happen in order to make sure that the customer's going to respect you in the long run.